So guys, today we are at a very close breeding center. Very exclusive to be here, super honored to be here. I mean, one of the best, if not the best, you can argue about that all day long, carpet python breeders that exist. I mean, at least in Europe, if not the world. So today I am at STARPYTHONS. So let's take a look of the whole breeding center. Let's go. So guys, the first stuff I wanted to show you is, because here we are at the breeding center of course, but there is a beautiful example of the way of keeping carpet pythons. Now these are like retired breeders in magnificent enclosure. I mean, that's what most of you would like, and actually me too, would like to have as an enclosure, even though for me it's a pain because I don't have the talent to do such stuff. And so yeah, here are our first carpet python of the journey here. So these are, we have like some IG, so Irinjaya for people wondering what it is. We have then here also, that's granite, right? So a granite here, just like that. And these are like big ass enclosure with a lot of technology. I mean, we've talked about it off camera, and it is like crazy technology. But first we'll take a look, and then I think that Philip will talk better about it than me. So here we have a nice albino zebra, if I remember correctly. Here we have another one. So yeah guys, and to have an idea, this was fully planted, so that with a lot of beautiful plants. I've seen pictures, and if you go on the website you'll see pictures of it. But that's how it turns when you put carpet pythons in there. So here are a couple coastals in that same type of cage. And so these are like, yeah, coastals. And just before we turned on the camera, they did something. We don't even know what they did, but yeah, they did something. And so that's it. I mean, about making these a little tour of the enclosure. Now maybe we can talk more about the enclosure. So guys, here I am with Philip to talk first about the enclosure, because peak keeping of carpets, for me at least, the only stuff that can be like, maybe next step is outside, but here in Europe it's going to be a little complicated to have carpets outside.
Yeah, definitely. Most of the time, especially here in northern Germany, it's way too cold for them.
Yeah, and Belgium is also a little cold for them. I mean, in the summer, like plain hard summer, maybe it's okay, but I mean, it's not like every day of the year, and not every year, so yeah.
Yep, you don't want to take the risk.
So, can you talk a little about these enclosures?
Yeah, they are pretty special, as you already said, because we wanted to show people visiting us what you can do in this hobby and what you can set up at home. And so they have quite fancy technique here we are using. That's actually a GHD computer up there. You can only see the display, but it was built for aquariums, so it has a lot of technology to simulate different weather settings and stuff. So we have UV daylight lighting, we have heat lamps that are currently shut off. You can see we have this rain system here installed, and the silver bar in the background, that's an LED stripe that we can use to create different situations, such as thunderstorms or sunrise, sunsets. So moonlight is also possible to simulate here in those cages, and of course that's a lot of fun if you have those at home in your living room. Then you can take a beer, sit in front of those cages and enjoy the sunset in front of your cages.
Yeah, that's like that. Yeah, that's as I said, that's peak keeping.
Yeah, it's actually, as far as I remember, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's even possible to simulate weather conditions at certain places. So you could tell the computer that you want to replicate the weather in Sydney at the moment, and it would do that for you. It would keep the temperature, keep the humidity. But if it rains, obviously, we are limited when it comes to rain here. So yeah, you want to make sure not to flood your whole setup.
Yeah, if you have like a rain, like thunder and a storm, like it's gonna be flooded here pretty fast.
Yes.
So that was the peak. I mean, if you enter, it's what you see straight away. That's just the stuff. That's just what you see straight away. And that's like, it gives you an example of what's possible when it comes to keeping carpets. Not only just like simple, there are simple setups, there are very complicated setups, and there are technological setups. So yeah, and for example, just a quick question, for example, that would be a perfect way to see how carpet pythons are acting in the wild. For example, if you take like, for example, on the computer, say, hey, do it as in Darwin, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's they have a lot of room to move. They have vertical and horizontal gradient when it comes to temperature. I mean, not a huge one, but at least a little one. And what you can observe is that sometimes the snakes will lay on the floor, obviously, like we can see right here, and they'll sit there for a couple of days, seemingly not moving a lot. And then there will be periods where they'll be on the upper branches to soak up some heat. So you can definitely see that they have different needs, and that, of course, if you have a cage of that size, it's much easier to fulfill those needs and to create a more natural environment for the animals.
Now, it's just the only problem in those type of setups is that just a pain in the ass to keep all clean and all stuff.
Right, yeah. I mean, to begin with, as you already mentioned, it's a pain to keep the plants alive. It's a problem because obviously the plants are too small for the animals, but we have, given the size of the cages, it's still not possible to plant a whole tree in there that would be big enough to hold the weight of the animals. So that's always an issue. So usually we have to rotate the animals, so we take them out from time to time and get new plants in there. But yeah, it's also a hygiene question. Obviously, if you have a setup like this and it's only one that you have, then it's okay to clean it and to see the poop in the last corner of the cage. But if you have, like a couple hundred of cages, then it would be most likely impossible to keep every single animal in such a cage.
That's the stuff. And so, yeah, as you can see, this one moves over there. Like, I don't know if you see her. Yes, you see her. And so the background and stuff, you bought it like this, or you made it? Or?
Yeah, I bought it like that. It's from Hoppe Terrarium and Company here, Hoppe Concept in Germany. They built those cages for us 11 years ago.
Okay, that's.
If you go to the website, making
you see the pictures of it.
Yeah, you can see some really nice cages that they built for different kind of species.
Yeah, I mean that would be like. I would not even need a TV. I just keep one of those and fine. I stay there all day long, just watching the animals or just watching the tank.
Yep.
And so to make a cool transition, we have the first breeders here also, I guess.
Right, yes.
So here all above we have I don't know if you see it, but we have what's names on the card? A red albino.
That's a red line albino jack.
Here we have nothing. I mean, air breeding.
Right, yeah.
And here we have a Wormer python. No, you don't see it well because, I mean, that camera is not gonna zoom well, but yeah, fine. We'll try it. So here we have like a Wormer python. And over there, we have the first that was the first breeder carpet over there, but we have also breeder carpets over there. Like first we have like hypojags here, if you see it. Yes, I hope you see it well. Then we have caramel head granite over there. which are all here all only females. Yes, a caramel zebra. Here we have a caramel granite. It was Boss het exantec. And then again, warm-up pythons. Now, are warm-up pythons another project at StarPythons or so?
Yeah, it's one of the, I would say it's the only species beside carpet pythons that we are breeding here, actually. Started a couple years ago by chance. I got them and fun animals to work with.
Yeah. And how, I mean, they're not the same species, not even the same genus, but what would you say is the main difference between the womas and the carpets?
You should talk to my zookeepers. The womas can be tricky to work with because I always at least like to bite really quick. So it's a different temperament, and you can much more easily work in a cage where carpet pythons are sitting in compared to the womas because they'll strike out of nowhere.
Okay, so we're maybe gonna head to that room, which is like the main room for breeders. So let's head there, guys. So guys, as you maybe wonder, maybe know, this is gonna be a big facility. You have already all these guys here. We are gonna talk about these guys after it. Here are all babies, because there's a lot of babies this year. Lot of babies. And here we are, still babies here. And we have Philip there. And we have the main room. So, let's go make a little tour of this room. So let's start. I mean, it's gonna be hard to show you guys all the animals, but we'll try to show many of them. So, here we have like a Snow. Oh, guys, just for information, Snow is my favorite morph. I mean, combo. Some combos maybe a lot more accurate. Here we have a triple head Snow granite. There, you hatched some last year, I think.
Yes.
And these were like crazy nice. Here we have a Jag. I mean, like caramel exotic
Jag. Right.
So, Jags. Good question for the Jag. About Jag. Everyone said every Jag has a wobble. I've seen that on the internet. I've seen also some people that say that not every Jag has it. Some say yeah, but it comes later and stuff. So what's your opinion about the Jag and what's the truth? I mean, about Jags.
I don't have a final answer to that topic, but what I can tell you is, as you can see here, that obviously this snake doesn't show any signs of neurological issues, and I wouldn't be aware that this animal would behave differently when fed. So that's what people will usually say, that when you put stress on the animals, they will show signs of wobbling. I don't know how many Jags we have, but at least all the ones we use for breeding are mostly fine, and I haven't seen any issues. So I wouldn't say not every Jag has a problem, but since the mutation leads back to a simple mechanism during development, it's most likely you can say that they all have the potential to have issues, but they might develop it on different degrees. So you'll have a Jag that really does the corkscrew thing and is really problematic, but like you can see here, you will also have perfectly fine jaguars without any issues.
It's like every kind of neurological disease in humans too. Like you have different degrees. Some have it, but like if you're not, for example, in a very specific situation that happens every 30 years or 30 moons, you don't see it, and some are really, really hard on it. It's the same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we have an exotic zebra. Really nice. Here, oh, Bradles. I didn't saw these at the first tour, so here are Bradles. So, and would you agree with everyone saying that these, I mean, it's not a good thing to say, but like they're bulletproof almost, like they can take everything, or almost everything, I guess. And in comparison to other carpets, for example.
I would describe all carpets as bulletproof. I mean, it's very easy to keep species. And in my opinion, it's also still a great beginner snake because it's, especially when feeding snakes can be tricky. There will be species that give you a lot of pain trying to feed them, but in carpets it's very easy.
Yeah. That one over there is looking at us. It was looking at us at the first tour also. If you want to know, she is a double head Exantic Grey Knight. And yeah, she is look kind of funny.
Yeah, she's feeding on human blood.
Oh, okay, I guess. Here we have red albino jag again. So here again a Sanglo head Exantic. Yep. A white snake on a almost white bedding is very difficult to feel.
Yeah, that's a well-known problem for me here.
So here we have another one. Here we have a mystery snake.
You know, I think it's much easier to film ball pythons because you can just bring them where you need them to be and be in those cages with the lighting, and so it's complicated.
So here we have a zebra. Here we have another jag, right? Yeah,
yes.
right.
It's Caramel Exantic Zebra Jag.
That one is like, yeah, super cool.
Will be also difficult to capture the color of the snake.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's my phone that I forgot in the office, but no problem. Whether it's the phone, whether it's camera, in my opinion, the only moments I can have a picture of a snake with kind of a true color is only in the sun.
Yes.
That's the only, like, and all the chondro keepers know that. The only moment you can see the true colors of a snake is in the sun, but you have to be able to take them in the sun first, in the first place.
Right. And here with carpets, I mean, sometimes we take them out and just to identify, harder to identify mutations. We take them to the sunlight, but since they're a little bigger than the average ball python, then it's hard to get a good picture because they are moving around and it's just the field for the picture is simply too big. But here it's always difficult with this warm white of the LED lighting we use. It's almost impossible to capture the true colors of the animals on film. And in the baby room we use daylight LED lighting, so that's if you have the right setting, it's possible, but then it's usually the camera that's limiting because it wants to optimize for girly selfies and stuff like that. So it's still trying to improve the color of the animal.
Yeah, that's the stuff with the pixel that I have. Like, it's always like, it's AI driven pictures. So it looks more naturalistic than any other phone. Sorry, iPhone guys. But yeah, it's never like exact same.
You show a white snake and it will tell you, oh, this is also a good example, that the granite Exantic we are seeing right here. It's going to be interesting to see how it looks on film, but it's standing in front of it in this lighting, it looks very whitish, and you could almost think it's an Exantic granite jag. But if you take it out and take your iPhone, take a picture, it's going to be probably yellow.
I mean, when we come back to the office, I'll take a picture with my phone. We're gonna see how it looks like. So here, it is really cool. Like really. So here, another one. Here also we have an Exantic. And on the other way, here we have a hypo double-head snow. So, just a question for the hypo, because in ball pythons, hypo is like a snake that is like looks like the dark of Frozen. But how would you identify a hypo on a carpet python, for example?
Well, it's much easier as hatchlings when they are lacking all the dark pigments. And if you move to this cage here, this is one of my original hypo females, or the original hypo female I acquired from Paul Harris with UK Pythons a couple years ago. And they are much lighter in color when they're younger. Now you can see some dark pigments, but it's still, now we would need a wild type carpet python sitting next to it so that you can see the difference. So to identify many color mutations, it's always helpful if you have clutch mates and stuff sitting next to each other.
Yeah, okay, like that. Here we have, Jesus, Axanthic super zebra jag. And about the super zebra, because there's also a lot of stuff about super zebra.
Yeah.
Like, they come with problems and stuff.
You often see king tails on those, and we are trying to avoid breeding them. So with the Axanthic super zebra, that's the only exception we had. But yeah, it's you lost parts of the clutch, and it's always, I don't like it. And it's still the Axanthic zebra we see up there, for example. It's a stunning snake by itself, and yeah, some people like the unicolor of the super zebras, but again, very hard to breed and unpredictable what you get at the end.
Oh yeah, okay. So you would say it's kind of a problematic pairing when you want super zebras?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. If you accept the loss, it depends what people are making of it. And I imagine you hatch a couple of snakes with king tails. There you'll also see a degree from very minor problems to bigger problems, to bigger kings. And then it's very hard to sell those animals because many people don't want to have a snake with a king tail, even though it's otherwise healthy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a problem. So I would want to avoid that problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I see. Yes. So IG granite. So granite at Axanthic here. Here we have another zebra jag Axanthic also. And so this one I don't even see it. No, we don't see it. No.
Oh, we'll see another one down the other aisle.
Oh, what's the sign of it actually?
It's actually said that's the glasses will fall out easily.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like, yeah.
It's
yeah. Okay.
just info for the zookeepers to be careful.
Okay, yeah, I get it. So, and here we go on another side of another row of the main room. We have like Darwin albinos. We don't see very well, I think. Yeah, I mean, you see what you see because I try my best. Here we have a snow. Again, one of my favorite morphs. Axanthic zebra jag. Again, same stuff. It's gonna fall easily.
Yes, right.
So here we don't see it, but yeah, that's
on the platform.
Oh.
Over.
Let's try it. No, maybe you can open it and I
Sure.
can maybe try to get something. Oh yeah, here we are. Oh, here you see something, guys. A nice female Darwin albino. Yupla. Here we have Axanthic granite. Here we have another albino there. And we have here other ones. I mean, I'm not gonna get every single label because otherwise that video will be 3 hours. But you get the main idea here.
So maybe you can capture the color in this Darwin albino.
Not with the camera.
It's a very difficult, but
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe pause the video and I'm just gonna get.
here are some animals that you should not miss. This is very nice hypo female.
Oh, and she is just a hypo, normal
Yes,
hypo.
it's
Okay.
just a normal.
She's very like yellowish. I mean.
Yeah, very reduced. Beautiful animal. And then, of course, the German bloodlines.
I'm just gonna show a funny one. That little guy.
Yeah.
That little girl, sorry. Like, he was looking at she was looking at us when we were talking about something. So, can we call it the legendary line or some sort?
Yeah, probably. People like them a lot.
Jungle, guys, but not any jungle. It is a German bloodline jungle. And there's a whole story about it that's maybe like days long.
Yeah, it's very date back 30 years. And people are still trying to figure out the origins of those animals, but yeah, it's as many lineage mysteries. Might take a few more generations to solve the whole story. My friends in the US failed
Here we have another
to
one.
get the whole story.
So yeah, here's another one. Like these are really, really, like yellow. Yeah, like really. I know the snow. I mean, can't complain about too many snows. There is never too many snows. So
Maybe
yeah.
that's better to capture the colors when we open the cage. again.
Yes, it's gonna be better. I'm gonna try again with my phone after it to see. I mean, on the camera looks okay. Looks okay-ish. So here's the curious one. Double head Exana granite. Looks super like, yeah, looks interested. I mean, but it's not fading day to day, I think. Here, oh, I just.
But
love
we
this.
should, let's go
Yeah.
this way around,
Yes.
because then we can show some one or two more nice German bloodlines
Yeah.
for the jungle fans out there.
That's another pretty one. I mean, on the camera, guys, it's gonna look gray, but it's yellow. Don't worry. I mean, yeah. You see the other ones. They are really. And you have a head popping. Hey,
It's moving.
like the heads. And I'm just gonna try. And we have that little girl here. She's pretty small in comparison with the others.
Yes, she
She's young.
just moved to this room
Oh, okay.
and needs to grow. So we'll not use her before 26
Okay.
for breeding.
So for breeding, what's your rules when it comes to age or size or whatever?
Well, I usually stick to 3 years for the females.
3.
We don't want to power feed them too much.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's also very individual from animal to animal. It's different. It depends on the body size, of course, and then it's just we don't want to put any stress on the females. So if we think they are not ready yet, too small at the edge, then we won't use them for breeding. And now you mentioned one of your favorites, the snows. As you've seen, we have more than one. So of course we need a redundancy. We need the option to give them a break and breed with another female, or have a spare female in case one doesn't want to breed, what happens and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not like we would produce 200 snows a year. It's
No.
more it's still limited to 1 or 2 clutches.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, redundancy and giving them a break.
Yeah. And so when it comes to break, what's the rule that you use here?
Oh, we don't have a strict rule.
Oh.
But when I see that a female, of course, it also depends what the demand is like. But if I have low demand for certain animals, then of course we'll only breed with 1 out of 3 females, for example, and then the next year we'll use one of their females that weren't used in the year before, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, okay, like this. Yeah. So yeah, guys, and since she's a little younger, you can see how the kind of evolution they have. I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a big ass room if you want to know. How many meters?
Square meters would be 350 for the whole,
Jeez, that's
for
a lot.
STARPYTHONS, yeah.
And how many snakes are there in here? I mean, the whole facility.
We have about 250 breeder animals.
Okay.
And right now, I would say about 1,100 babies.
That's a lot.
Many snakes.
Yeah, that's a lot. So over there, we have like, yeah, this one we filmed. Hyperjag head exantic. Oh, that's a Sanglo jag. A whole yellow snake. She is whole yellow, or does she have some other colors?
It would be another one of those examples where it would be worth it to take the snake out to the natural sunlight, but it's really yellowish.
Okay, yeah. So here we have another one there on the platforms. Here we have one that is hiding, striped albino jag. Jeez. We have a caramel albino jag. I would be curious to see the striped one, if it's possible. Just to pop off the hide.
Yeah, you can do that. Just let me grab some gloves.
Yes. And we have a German, while waiting, here we have German bloodline zebra. Yo, she's in shed, or is it me?
It looks a little like she's in shed.
Oh, yeah. So...
But you can see the nice dorsal stripe here,
Yeah.
going all the way. Very nice animal.
Yeah. So striped, because, I mean, I've seen a lot of striped animals, whether it's a morph market or others. What's the striped actually? Is it just
Well,
line? Is it
Striped,
mutation?
for me, it's phenotypic variation.
Oh,
I mean, you
okay.
have stuff like the Balin tigers that we've seen in the office, or that we
Yeah.
can also show guys in a moment. But other than that, you'll just randomly pop a striped snake,
Okay.
right? And that's not a tiger, obviously, and it's you don't know yet if that's genetic stuff going on there. So it's just a striped animal.
Oh yeah, okay. So it's nothing like you can like say, I'm gonna have a striped clutch.
No,
For sure, it's never
it's
for sure.
unpredictable.
Okay. Okay. That's always like interesting to know some kinds of details. Here is the hiding snakes. I wanted to leave that part as, I mean, last of the main room. So we have here a couple again of other of carpet pythons, and then we have the Balin tiger.
That's a Balin tiger here over. I imported some tigers from Jason Balin a couple years ago from the United States, and as you can see, they are one of the best looking, or probably the best looking tigers out there. Stunning animals if you like those stripes.
Yeah. And something I've seen is that, like, I mean, I keep carpet pythons too, so I've read a lot of it and stuff, is that they're not for people that don't have carpets and that are still wondering why these are not giant 3 meters 50 monsters. Can you tell us why not?
Why they aren't 3-meter monsters?
That's the story from people that aren't keeping these carpets.
I mean, we don't even have to talk about monster snakes if you just talk about a 2-meter snake.
Yeah.
Ours are mostly smaller than that to begin with, as you've seen. But the cool thing about carpet pythons is that they are rather, how should I say that in English? They not really slim, but they are not as huge and enormous such as retakes. So they are rather elegant snakes. So the 2-meter long carpet python will still fit on a diner plate without any issues. So it's a great snake as a pet because of the manageable size. Yeah, but I've rarely seen like really large coastals. Haven't seen any here, and we are feeding them pretty good. So, but as always in the books, you'll mention that one specimen that was extraordinarily long.
Yeah, so as you see, these are not like giants. I mean, it's not a small snake. Not saying that it's small snake.
Not a corn snake, but definitely manageable.
Yeah, and even like even to be like what can be considered big, it takes time for them. Like
it's always the question is what you feed them and how often you feed them. That's what people do. When I have even my own customers will get a breeder-sized snake from me, and then they will wonder, hey, that's a small snake, and you breed with those. And so I can only imagine how they power feed their own animals so that they become monsters. But that's something you don't want to see, and it's quite sure not naturally for them. I mean, in Australia, they won't find a rat every Friday at 1 p.m. So it's different in nature, and so we always try to keep them a little on the slim side. Do not overfeed them, and of course, if you have a hatchling and power feed that baby, then it will grow like wheat and will eventually become bigger at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, and so what would you, now talking about feeding, what would you like consider a good feeding schedule depending, let's go from hatchling to adults on general side.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably feed my pet snake every 2 weeks, and then eventually, we can 10 to 14 days, maybe. And then once they feed on rats, like maybe 60-gram rats upwards, I would then at some point switch from bi-weekly to every 3 weeks. So, but it's, I mean, not most, but many people will then notice that the snake seems to be hungry, and they want to do something good and feed the snakes more often, and then you have those overweight snakes, and that's what you want to avoid. So it always depends a little. That's a rule of thumb. As you can see here in our cages, we have those colored cards that will indicate the rhythm. So if it's a green card, now in this case 200-gram rat every 2 weeks, so green indicates bi-weekly feeding protocol. The yellow ones would indicate feeding them every 3 weeks. And then you can see when they, for the adult animals, we tend to feed larger rats, but only every 3 weeks.
Okay. And so, just curious for me, what's the oldest snake you have here?
That's a good question. It's probably at the moment should be the Bradley girl you filmed a couple of minutes ago.
Yes.
She's 16 years old now. Well, we have a couple in that range of 16 to 18, around that. But that's, I mean, I started keeping carpet pythons, roughly 18 to 20 years ago. And that's when I bought them. So obviously
they're here from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so that was one of the next questions. I would have waited a little longer, but now you mention it. What's the story of STARPYTHONS?
Oh, that's very simple. I always liked Crocodile Hunter, Steve Irwin, and liked his show. And so the animals, Australian pythons, caught my attention. And eventually I started with a milk snake. It was my first snake back in the days when I was living with my parents. And they weren't very happy to find frozen rodents in the freezer. So, but when I moved out, I was still living with my parents, I got my first pair of jungle carpet pythons. And it was a lot of fun for me to build the cage. So I also made it a natural looking cage. Not as fancy as the ones in the office, but a really nice cage. And so then I bought the second, third, fourth, 10th, 20th snake. And so eventually I decided to breed those animals. And then long story short, it was growing, but I never stood up in the morning and decided to found a huge breeding company for carpet pythons. So that's not the case. It was simply growing and growing and growing. And until 2013, we were located in a much smaller building with around just 100 square meters. And then we decided to move to this place so that we had more room. But when you have more room, you buy more cages and have more snakes. But to stretch out everything, and so now we're here.
Yeah, and it's like a cool building. I mean, I like it.
It's I mean, what does a snake breeder need? You don't need many windows and stuff. You need just fitting rooms to fit the cages of the given size in there, and that's definitely given here. Yeah, so we are very happy here.
And so what size are the cages here again? I know I read it on the website, but...
Yeah, it's 120 centimeters by 70 by 80.
And that would be like, and for someone that has only one carpet, what would you advise as type of caging, like from the size, for example?
This would be the minimum size.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't go smaller than this. I would go wider. I would probably do 140 to everything above that. Usually that's limited by the construction of the cage, because when it's too wide, you'll have issues with the boards hanging down, so it will bend when it's too wide. So that's something you would need to consider. And then the height is usually, as we've seen in display cages in the office, height is very important for carpets. They like to climb. That's why we are limited here in height, but at least we have those platforms to give them the chance to move to different zones. So I would go higher, like pretty much the display cages, which are, I think, 150 by 70 by 150 or something like that, a little higher maybe. That's a decent size for a cage at home.
Okay, but there's no, you would not say like something most ball python guys say, cage is too big. That doesn't exist for carpets, right?
No. It's definitely not the case. For I think a cage for a carpet python should be as big as possible.
Yeah, okay.
There's no limit. And it's a different species, so you know, ball pythons are not that exciting to keep, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I have 4 of them, so yeah.
But with a carpet python, it's a jungle. And now imagine one of those German bloodline jungle carpet pythons in a really nice jungle cage.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
That should be it's like an aquarium. I mean, it's also around the surrounding, the setup, and you should not, it's not not like a dog or a cat. It's not something to pet, but it's an animal to keep with a nice setup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then definitely. So yeah, going from that, without transition, let's go to the other room. Like one special room, I think it is.
Yeah.
Let's enter some big room here. Big room with a big, lots of animals.
Yeah.
So lots of babies here.
Right. Many babies, and right now we have in this room alone we have around 850 to 900 animals, I would expect. And you feel the humidity in here.
Sweating here.
Right, and yeah, so that's where we put the hatchlings. We house them single, so we only have 1 snake per bra plus box. Usually with a perch and a heat mat, you can see in that empty spot here. So belly heat for those animals as well, and so here we have to take care of them, feed them, make sure they're doing great, and the new customers will have a lot of fun with those animals.
Lots of fun. Because most people know that, but just reminder, I have an albino Darwin male from you, and like he's like popping colors like crazy, like really.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I've seen a picture before and it looks really good.
And as you may not know, but when I have a snake from a breeder, what I like to do is from time to time, like once a year, twice a year, I like to just send pictures and videos to the breeder, so he sees like the evolution. I know you see a lot of babies and sell a lot and see a lot, but like I know that from most breeders, it's something always a pleasure to see, hey, my baby's growing and stuff.
Absolutely. I like it when I see that the animals are well maintained, taken care of, and I like the enthusiasm of the customers. And yeah, to know that my animals are in good hands now. That's always good.
Yeah. So question about the Brablas. So they are in there from hatchling up to what kind of size or age?
I mean, in an ideal world, we sell them while they are young.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they outgrow the cage or the box, the top probably, we have this other size here. So right here, for example, we have this jungle girl. Obviously, this one would be too big for one of those tops. And then they move to those what we call cubes. So from Lanzo herb cages, those I think they are 40 by 40 by 40. So that would be the next step, the next size before they move in the breeding cages.
Okay. So yeah, there is also a lot of cubes.
Right.
It's a cubic room.
Everything's cubic.
But the adult cages. That's the only stuff that's not cubic here. So there is, and like as you said, like here right now, 850 hatchlings right now, and just babies in general, and it goes up to more than 1,000. You said.
Yeah. If we count those that we've seen in the other room, sitting in the ball python racks for now, in the ball python baby racks, and so it was a quite successful season for us. We reduced the number of pairings we made, but we just went very well this season. So we ended up with many baby carpet pythons.
Yeah, and can you just show us how is it in the Brablas so people can see like what can be a kind of setup for or a small one?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty simple. As I said, it's belly heat here in the back, so the back half or third, and then we use a softwood granulate and a perch like this. These can be bought also at Lanzo herb cages, but I think they are not produced anymore. Then you see it's wet inside here, and you see that we don't have a water dish in there. That's because we spray every day. So we water the animals by spraying inside the tubs, and they will drink the water drops from the wall. So that prevents a lot of mess, because when you have a water dish inside, that will dip and produce a huge mess. And so that can be avoided by just spraying the animals. So very, very easy to maintain. But of course, we are cheating a little bit. It would be a little more difficult for you at home, because we control the humidity and temperature for the whole room. So we don't need another heat source to get this top to 27 degrees, because the whole room is 27 degrees and, I don't know, 70% humidity.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And at home it's a little difficult, because you need to have the spot temperature and the whole ambient temperature.
Yeah, that's the stuff. That's why, for example, when I got last year the male, what I did, just like put him in a little box, and at that time I didn't have the PVC cages that were like 1.20 meters high. I mean, I have both, but they're 1 meter high, so I can put the box up there. So I had just my glass enclosure, and I had the lamp in there, and so I put a bit of the box just over the light. Yeah. So the temperatures were okay, but not everyone can have that type of stuff, and even I was a little like, I would prefer to put it the other way, but that was the easiest way to have everything correctly. Yeah. And we did pretty well up until now. Now he's in a big cage. Because the cage is 150 by 50 by 50. Yeah. Is there with a female, of course, for the moment now, secret project. But he's not gonna stay alone for a long time. But it's gonna be fun to see him grow in this big ass cage. Yeah, definitely. And of course, we'll send you a picture of it.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I should show you some special animals maybe. So let's start with this.
Yes.
This ghost zebra here.
So you posted one like this last year, I think. Yeah. Right? Just gonna make a picture with the phone. It's gonna be better for the video. Yeah. I mean, that was like, that was, when I saw it, it was like crazy to see.
Yeah. It's very nice. And this is obviously a holdback female that we will introduce to our own breeding stock in the future.
Yes.
So I show you the version without hypo, because I also have a very nice but male exantic zebra, because from time to time we of course need to keep some males for our projects as well. This one has a really nice contrast.
Oh yeah, really.
Should be a little easier to capture on the camera.
Yeah, it is definitely.
It's hiding its head, but
yeah,
so
shy.
Very.
Oh, here's
very beautiful.
Just gonna try to zoom, and zoom is not great, but yeah, you get the idea.
So maybe this exantic tiger male.
Yes, sir.
With the nice stripes.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a Balin line tiger.
Okay.
And of course the goal is to eventually have this very clean striping that we've seen with the adult in the other room.
Yeah.
Just as black and white.
Yeah. Like a panda stripe.
Very, very nice. So this little guy will also stay here. Yeah, tons of animals I can show you for sure.
So, little tour of the cubes.
Very nice.
Yo.
Atlantic Jack.
Man. This is a cool one. This one is, yeah.
Yeah. Here's a nice hypo Jack. Even though it pooped, it's still shed, but it's still looking beautiful to get an idea. And now this is an yearling, so we'll compare this one to a 24 animal that just hatched, so that we can get an idea of the dark pigments developing.
Yes.
So many animals, it's always hard to find the one you are looking for. And that's why they have numbers.
A few moments later.
You can see that this is not scripted.
No,
because
not at
I'm
all.
actually running around looking for snakes. Oh, this is a good example.
Yo.
Looks different, right?
Yeah. Definitely. Jeez. That one is a cool one.
Yeah.
And here also I've seen one that you posted lately, like on Instagram. It's one of these, right? Here, or are there in another top?
The IJ.
Yeah.
Exantic granite.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just to give you a little idea. First, when I saw the picture, I thought it was like, damn, is he going into like Amazon trees or some stuff?
I'm actually not sure if that one was sold in the meantime. So might have been sold, but I'm not entirely sure. Wouldn't be a surprise if it was sold.
Yeah.
I don't think it's here anymore. But maybe we can find a sibling.
Here I have a IGA X Granite.
Yeah, that would be. I'm not sure if that's the. No, it's not the one. Or is it the one? It also has a very wide belly.
Yeah. So I mean, I might try to. Yeah, no. You see here a little.
Yeah.
Like has a white. He's actually like gray and white. Just gonna take the picture back. I'm gonna take a picture and then I'm gonna take the picture back of your account so you can see it. Where is it?
Yeah, definitely possible
Yeah,
that was the one. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna I'll show you like this, but I'm gonna show you a screenshot. It's gonna be better looking.
Yeah, you know my snakes better than I do. Obviously, you know where to find them. Yeah, and then maybe the last one that I would want to show you is a really nice super caramel group of super caramels.
Guys, that's a heat. That's a banger. Jesus. Yo, this one is in shed, right? Or
Yeah,
it's-
it's sadly yes.
I was like, does he have
Well,
blue eyes?
Yeah, it looks.
This one has grayish eyes, but you don't see it on the camera, but I can tell you it has grayish eyes.
Really nice color
Yeah.
in those.
Really,
Yeah,
really,
you can
really,
see.
really nice.
One more.
Yeah.
This has a really nice color as well.
Yo.
It's not in shed.
Yo, that's the one really nice. That's a really, really nice. And I think we made a little tour of the most important, the most beautiful ones that you have here. So I think we can say that we've made, I know there's just maybe one room that we can show.
Sure, the diamond pythons.
The diamond python.
Okay.
So let's end up with one of the most iconic snake that you'll see here. I mean, it is the most iconic, one of the most iconic snake in the whole community, I guess. I mean, at least for me. So let's go. So we end the tour with a super iconic snake, diamond pythons. We have all types of diamonds, and we have a special diamonds. I mean, yeah, it's over there. So that is what we can call a radius pattern. So can you tell us about the radius pattern?
Not a lot. It's still a mystery what's going on there. But I can tell you about my reduced pattern that they actually popped out of nowhere. So out of a regular lineage of diamond pythons that were bred for I don't know how many years, just 2 or 3 years ago, completely out of nowhere, those reduced patterns popped up here at my place. Was one of the better surprises to have as a snake breeder. But yeah, it's
Lots of diamonds. Jeez. And so these are in a separate room. And from the 27 degrees of the baby room, here is chilly.
yeah, right.
So here is, what kind of temperature do you stay here?
Right now it's we have the thermometers here. It's 25.6. You can see in that cage over there. So we make sure to keep the daytime temperature between 25 to 26 maximum. And then in the nighttime we'll go in the summer down to 20 degrees. And then in the winter down to between 12 and 14 degrees.
Jeez. Like the dream snake for I don't know how many persons. Yeah, so I mean that was in black and white. That one is my favorite for sure, guys. So that's I mean would be the dream. Just here would be the dream room for many persons. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are like so many cool snakes. I mean, just without this room, this would be a really nice room tour. I mean, facility tours would be a better word. But that adds up extra on it. Even more. And here we have the one that is interested. So, yeah, aside of the temperature, keeping wise, you have the temperature difference, and for the rest, is there something different between a diamond and a coastal, for example, or a jungle?
I mean, they have different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
I think the diamonds are always very curious what's going on, less striky. So if we open the cage, they will most likely not strike at us, as other carpet pythons would probably do. But they always seem to find out what's going on, very interested. And as you've seen, one of the cages looks a little different. We're currently trying a little different setup with coconut fiber bedding, and also use stones for the soaking spots so that the stones will eventually warm up during the day and save the temperature for later. And it was very interesting to just observe the female moving around in the cage. It's still her cage, but it had the old bedding and the old setup, and so she was really curious to find out more about her new environment and the smells and everything. So, but other than that, like feeding them and stuff, that's pretty much the same as with the other carpet pythons.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, and that was funny because she was avoiding the stones when we came here first time, and now she's on it. That's that's pretty interesting. Mine are, I mean, I have like also like the kind of stones in all my cages, carpets, corns, and ball pythons. The only ones that are, I mean, no one really gets on it, but the ones that are getting more on it are are the carpets. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, ball pythons are ball pythons. They stay in their hide up until it's 8 or 9 p.m. And the corns are just like always high up in the branch. And here, something we didn't talk is that on most cages there, you have a heat mat.
Right.
And here you have just a normal basking lamp.
Yes, right.
So why specifically on diamonds and not on everyone, for example?
Oh, well, I don't know, I have the impression that diamonds really like the heat coming from above. I think they prefer this setup, but it's a gut feeling that I have. Mm-hmm. So I know diamond python keepers who will also have belly heat and use a heat mat additionally. That's something we don't do here in this case. But the main reason for me for using heat mats is just it's easier to control them, because it's heat that's not connected with light. Mm-hmm. So in theory you can warm it up to 40 degrees at midnight. Yeah. And that's obviously not possible here. Okay. So the heat mats gives you more control, while here it's just on and off, and if you do that too often, I mean, it would look stupid if the light wouldn't turn on and off every couple of minutes. Yeah. So this is obviously not connected to a thermostat, but to a timer. Yeah. So, and it works perfectly fine with diamonds. Lights will go on in the morning, then they at some point will notice that light, come outside the hides and move to the spot, soak up the heat, and then they are moved back to the hides.
Okay, yeah. Like right now, they're just in their basking moment. As you can see, most of them are under the lights. Yeah. Just a couple ones that are just like not feeling like it. Yeah. But yeah, most are in there. So yeah, I think we've made the whole tour. Yeah. So let's end up that video again in the office. So guys, that was it for the whole tour. We showed 90% of everything, 90% of the whole room, because I mean we can't show every single animal, otherwise I would have to make like 3 months worth of videos and it's a bit long for everyone. So thanks for the tour, for this very exclusive tour. I was super honored about it.
Thanks for visiting.
Yeah, and so I hope you enjoy, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share like every time. Don't forget to support US Stark if you're in the US, of course. Don't forget AodaReptile to support AodaReptile, responsible reptile keeping, John Bricky's Anxiety Pets group, and I hope to see you on the next one. Let's go.